you are good enough. I don't care if you piss poor. I don't care if you piss rich. I'd rather be real than be fake. And if you don't have any failures, how are you going to learn? If you get a yes out of everything in this life, what are you learning? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another day of VLOGVEMBER. We here all month, baby. We are back. Like, we're back. Like, what? I know y'all miss me, because I miss me. It's your favorite cousin on the internet. My name is Vivian if you are new, and if you are not, you already knew that. In today's video, hopping right in, you saw the title, we're going to be talking about how to find your vision, how to find your purpose, how to stick to it, what does that look like, and where to start from.
Fast forward to the grown things now. I'm working on them soul things now.
So first things first, you got to figure out, why do you even want a vision? Like, what does having a vision do for you? And some of you might be like, well, I don't really know what it is. I just know I want to do something, and I don't want to be bored. I want to have fun. I want to be able to build a life for myself, what have you. So something like that would be a reason, you know what I mean? Like, basically think of, okay, if I knew what my vision was right now today, why would I have the vision, and what would I be doing? What would be my why for the vision? What would be my motivation to keep going with the vision? You know what I mean? And if you understand why you want the vision, you don't have to have it yet, but if you understand why you want a vision, then you'll be able to even get to the point of figuring out what the vision is. Like, I'm the kind of person, you have to start from the very beginning. You have to figure out why you are the way you are. You have to figure out where your blessings come from, figure out what makes you you. For me personally, I have a relationship with God. Like, that's very important to me. I have been through a lot. Like I keep telling y'all, testimony is coming. My faith locked in. I'm not gonna tell you it doesn't sometimes unlock, you know what I'm saying, but 9 times out of 10 it's locked in. But I also have people around me in my circle to keep me focused and keep me geared towards, okay, you're not locked in, get locked in with God. Not get locked in with me, not let's go out to the club, not let's do this and do that. Let's get locked in separately and together. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But I say all that to say, if you don't have, I would say, like a higher power, I definitely recommend like learning about God and building that relationship with him. Like, and if you're not a religious person, that's completely fine. You can still listen to everything that I'm saying, and you can still learn something from it. But I can't sit up here and try to give you these tips without telling you what worked for me. You know what I mean? So take it for face value or take it for a deeper value. It's up to you. It's your life, your decision, right? I'm just trying to say, like, ultimately you got to figure out the foundation in everything that you do. Figure out the foundation, figure out the why, figure out the purpose. That is the foundation of something. For me personally, that's how I figure out how I want to do things, who I want to build with, who I want to be, what visions I have, what sacrifices I'm going to make. All that is figured out in the foundation, and it grows as you grow, of course, but that's the starting point, right? So for your first vision, or for your vision of your life, you need to figure out your starting point. That's number one. Number two, you want to figure out who you are now and who you want to be in the future. What does the you now like to do? What does the you now not like to do? What are some bad habits that you might have? Do you sleep in longer than you should? Are you a procrastinator? Are you dependable? Do you hold yourself accountable? Are you someone who holds other people accountable? Are you a know-it-all? Are you someone who's not receptive to feedback? Like, figure out all of the bad things that you would say about yourself. And I wouldn't necessarily say that they're bad. They're things that you need to have to develop your character, right? But if you're a liar, if you're deceitful, if you're confused all the time, if you're indecisive, things like that, like, figure out the things that you feel like, okay, what can I make better about myself? And if you think that you're perfect, you're wrong, and you need to figure out what is really going on, and that's one of them. But hopefully you get what I'm saying. Because I know for me, for a long time, I know what I was capable of. I knew what I was capable of. I knew where I wanted to be, but I could not figure out who the Vivian was right now today, who was trying to figure it out. And so I just recommend making sure you figure out what it is about you right now that you don't like. What is it about you right now that you do like? Because once you figure those two things out, you have to then sit, marinate on it, put in steps to make sure you can grow and change from those things that you don't like. Figure out the steps that you need to take to make those things better about yourself, you know what I mean? And so once you figure that out, you're then able to figure out, okay, future me, this is what that person looks like. Okay, future me will probably like this. Future me may have a style like this. Make a vision board. You know what I mean? You know, people tell you make a vision board for your goals. Have a vision board for your vision of who you want to be, not what you want to have. That's different. You want to make one a little bit separate, because this is the foundation of who you are. The vision board that most people make is just the top of the building. You got to be in the soil right now, so you need to make a soil vision board, and then you need to make a vision board that also has the top of the building. I'm on the rooftop. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully you get the point. To word it better, I would say you need the foundation and a vision board, and you need the expectation, exactly 100% who you want to be, what you want to have. Those need to be in a vision board as well. Person that you are now today is going to lead you to the person that you want to be. And if you don't focus on who you are right now today, you won't ever get to that person you want to be. You won't ever get to the vision, because you're not actively working on who you are right now to bring things into fruition, to accomplish the things that you might think you want to accomplish. You know what I mean? And constantly, as like people, we're always growing, right? And so your thoughts, your wants definitely may change, but again, back to the foundation. Your foundation should stay the same. Who you are, your personality, your morals, your demeanor, your intention, all those things should always be the same 100%. For give you an example, for me, I'm 100% genuine all the time. I'm 100% honest all the time. Haven't always been, but that's something that I've worked towards. I'm 100% transparent. Sometimes that's too much for people. Sometimes, most times it's too much for people. But guess what? That's who I am. That's me. I'm not going to change it because some people can't tolerate how real I am. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be real than be fake. And that's something that I've worked on. That's something that I've matured on, to be able to be who I am and come to you with this type of content, as well as be this person outside of the internet too. For me, I learned how to be myself, but I had to figure out what are the things that I don't like about myself. Because if you don't figure that out, you got this person, that person, a million people triggering you, and they're just simply having a conversation with you, not any ill intention towards you at all. You'll hear one thing and they'll say something totally different, all because you're triggered, because of something from your past and your trauma that you never even realized you had. That's something you gotta fix. That's something that should be on that list of what you don't like about yourself. Like, why am I always getting triggered? Why am I always irritated with everybody? Like, it's not always the other people. Sometimes it definitely is. This is why you must figure out who you are now, not only for your future, but also for your circle, right? And so if you don't know who you are, how you gonna determine if someone is like meaning you ill or pushing you in the right direction? You know what I mean? If you can't even look in the mirror and see who you are, you're not gonna be able to see if somebody trying to attack you and they really not genuine, and you don't really know if they got your back, but you feel like they do because they just there, they been there, y'all have good conversation, y'all laugh, da. No, like, learn who you are so that you can see all things, not just the vision. But we'll stick to just the vision because that's the point of the video. So once you figure that part out, then you can move forward to figuring out, okay, what is the Vivian that I want to be in 5 years, in 2 years, in 2 weeks, in 6 months? What does that person look like? What does she like to do? How does she like to dress? What relationships does she have? How does she value a man? How does she value a woman? How does she value individuality? How does she value being true to herself? How does she value being motivated without having anyone around her? How does she value being alone? Like, things like that are what help you to figure out your vision. And for me, ultimately, I had to go through a lot of isolation. I had to go through a lot of crucifixion, if that's a word. My family ate me up, baby. My family ate me up. They was not playing. Like, if you're open to it and you learn how to be less sensitive and listen, you really start to hear if a person is genuinely telling you something that you need, or if they're just projecting on you about themselves. Hopefully that you get what I'm saying. And so, again, leading back to that foundation of things, like, you must work on those two things and figure out what's going to help you to better yourself. Again, this is not where you're blaming this person and that person. I mean, literally dig deep as you can, because not everything is somebody else's fault, and you have to understand that as well. Like, I'm almost 30 now, and so over the years I've learned that for me, before I figured out who I was, a lot of my vision, a lot of like my frustration as to why I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be yet was because I had not let go of a lot of trauma, was because I was angry and I didn't realize I was angry, and because I was so stuck on I just gotta be somebody because what I'm seeing is not what I want. Like what I'm seeing in these other people's lives, in my family and my friendships, online, whoever, I don't want to live like that. I don't want that. And so it kept making me feel like, okay, I want something different, but I can't get nothing different. Like this person hold me back, that's holding me back, and really I'm carrying it all. Like, let it go. Let it go. Me, I let God take care of it. I can't hold all that stuff on my back, y'all. You can't hold all that stuff on your back. And the reason why I'm saying figure out the things that you like and don't like about yourself are because there's going to be a time where you have to open up your ears to feedback. And I'm talking real, genuine feedback from people you don't like, from people you don't necessarily have respect for. People are going to tell you about yourself, whether it's solicited or unsolicited. There's always truth in majority of things that you hear. And so I want you to keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out your vision, because you can be blind. You're you and you walk around all day on the inside, but other people are walking around and they're on your outside. So you can't always see 9 times out of 10 how you actually are. This is why you're making this list. This is why you're figuring it out, because there's going to be a time where you are going to have to make some of the tough decisions. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to say, this person is not helping my development. And you could know them for 20 years. But just because you know somebody for 20 years doesn't mean that they have your back or you have theirs, or doesn't mean that that person is meant to be in your life. Like, that could be a relationship, that could be a friendship, that could be a parent, that could be family, that could be anyone. You know what I'm saying? It really just depends on you as a person and what you've been through and what your heart and what the Lord is telling you. Like, it's all in personal development, okay? And it's not easy. I'll tell you that today. It's not easy. I'm still working on me. It's not easy. I'm not coming at y'all telling y'all like everything is great and I'm just perfect and I don't have to worry about anything and I'm just happy all the time. Most of the time I am happy. Most of the time I am very secure in myself. Most of the time there isn't anything that someone could tell me that I don't already know about myself. But sometimes it's not always reality either. You know what I mean? Everything is a deliberate growing process. Everything is intentional. Everything is for your better good, whether you can see it now or whether you see it later. That brings me to step number 3. Lead with the intention of, I'm going to make mistakes. Leave room for mistakes. Understand that you're going to make mistakes. And if you didn't have mistakes, you wouldn't grow. Like, I think as people, sometimes we start on a path, right? And we feel like, okay, well, I'm not where I want to be, so I fail. Oh, I'm just so sad. I'm just so stuck in my failure. It's your perspective. You have to switch your perspective and say, okay, I didn't reach that goal. Okay, God didn't open up that door for me, but he closed the door for me. He's leading me somewhere else. I have to get to that closed door to even get to the people that he's putting in my life to open up a new door. You have to get to the closed door sometimes, most times. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It can be. But again, once you learn yourself, once you grow in him, once you figure out what you want in this life, your purpose in this life, then it becomes so much easier for you. It's not something that can happen overnight. It takes sometimes years, sometimes it takes months. It takes prayer. It takes what it takes. For me, it took sacrifice. For me, it took determination. For me, it took a lot of tears, a lot of relationships that didn't work out, whether that be friendship, relationship, intimately, whatever. It was a lot of different things that ultimately helped me to be who I am right now today. And I had to learn to leave room for mistakes, because I used to fail and I wouldn't want to get back up. And when you fail, you're not really failing, because the more you learn, the better you get. And if you don't have any failures, how are you going to learn? If you get a yes out of everything in this life, what are you learning? If you get a no, and you really, really wanted something, and you get a no, instead of saying, okay, well, I got a no, the lesson I got was, I'm not good enough. That's not true, baby. Nobody said you wasn't good enough. You're saying that. The devil is telling you that. Satan is a liar, baby. He's a liar. You are good enough. Like, I'm telling you, you're good enough. And you're looking at someone and you're listening to someone who's also battled with that same thing. You are good enough. I don't care if you piss poor. I don't care if you piss rich. Whatever the case may be, you're still good enough no matter what your situation is. You have to push yourself. You're not your parents. You're not your family. You're not your friends. You are you. I am Vivian. There is nobody on this earth that's just like me. And that is my power. That is your power. And you have to really lock in. You gotta lock in on that. And I'm trying my best to like make sure I'm wording everything correctly so that it's understandable. Because sometimes I can go and I be spitting, but sometimes I be spitting so much that it takes a little bit of a slower conversation for someone to like fully comprehend what I'm saying. So hopefully I'm doing a good job. But if I'm not, any questions y'all might have, any concerns, you can feel free to privately DM me, leave a comment down below. You need advice, whatever, I got you. I'm here for you. I'll do my best to help you and give you the guidance that I wish I would have had at this age, at a younger age. I'm here for you, just like I know we're all here for each other, and this is an open, safe space, and I want that to be known so that everyone is comfortable. There's no hate, there's no judgment, simply that, right? So back to leaving room for mistakes. If you don't leave room to fail, you won't leave room to learn how to get up. Like, if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. I'll give you an example. I've been on YouTube for 5-6 years. I done been through a lot with this YouTube channel, just me and my personal development. If you go back from when I first started, and I really don't even have all the videos from when I first started, but if you go back to some very old videos and you listen to who I am now today, you will see what I'm telling you is true. I'm not just coming up with it. I'm not just telling you it because I think it sounds good. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be real and raw with you. Like, this is the stuff that has helped me and it's developed me on top of like my circle. And so that's step number 4. You want to make sure as you're developing yourself, as you're figuring out your vision, you need to learn to be quiet. Be in a season of hush. Okay, because for me, I talk a lot, and so there were times where I would just, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm not saying that you can't tell people your business, because you can. But what I'm saying is, when you're in the middle of a season of grind mode, when you're in the middle of a season of cooking, you're literally cooking. You're trying to figure out what ingredients, what seasonings I need, what pots and pans I need to get to the dish that I want to have at the end of the day. You're trying to figure out who it is you want to be at the end of the day and what you want to do in this life. So typically when you are cooking, you're not about to sit up on the phone talking about, yeah, girl, I'm doing da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, girl, he did da-da-da-da. Yeah, girl, and you entertaining different things. You don't have time for that. You need to be in a season of hush. Stop. Don't entertain too much. If it's negative, don't entertain it. Oh, okay, that's crazy. And move right along. Lead the conversation to a positive one, whether it's friends, family, whatever. I do it all the time. There are so many people that are negative at my job, so many people that are negative in my family, in other people's family, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I try to lead the conversation to a positive like route. You know what I mean? And I've noticed how everyone has changed for the better because of it. I used to be negative too. I'm not gonna act like I didn't used to be negative. I'm not gonna act like I didn't used to entertain bullshit. Like, I did. Like, I'm human. We're all human. I'm not saying you're a horrible person because you entertain a drama. I'm not saying you're a horrible person because of this, because of that. I'm saying you're going to stay a horrible person if you continue to deal with it and still live in it. You're not going to find your vision. To you, you're going to feel like you're horrible. I'm not telling you you're horrible. Ultimately, deep down, you feel horrible because you don't have a vision. You don't know what your vision is. You don't know where you're trying to reach your life to be. Like, you don't know what you want your life to be. And it's because of all these different things. And I'm telling y'all, like, hear me. Hear me when I tell you this is not for nothing. This is for you. It's for you. If you came across this video, it's for you. It's not for nobody else. If you want to send it to somebody else, send it to somebody else. If you feel like they need it, amen, sister. You, amen, brother. Do you? But I'm telling you, this is for you. Learn to live in a season of hush. You are developing yourself. And when you are developing, when you are cooking, you do not need to be saying too much. You're still learning. You don't need to say all of your hopes and dreams and your aspirations. If you feel led to, then do so. And one thing I've learned is you might feel led to, and God will slap you right on down and back to reality and be like, yeah, well, you should have never said nothing. I'm still working. I'm still working on that person. So what you expecting from that person when you share what you're doing, you share your goodness, and then now you're disappointed because they don't have the reaction that you wanted. They don't know your vision. You learning your vision. They don't even know their own vision. How you gonna expect them to give you praises, push you, and if you really look at their life, they don't even know what they want to do. It's impossible. And that's why I say right now, focusing on a season of hush. I'm not saying it's forever. Pray for those people. Pray for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, keep going, you know? Ultimately, keep going. Like, all those things will help you to develop who you really are, what your vision is. I truly feel like those are that's like a starter pack. Those 5 things are the starter pack. So I'll just bring it back in line for anybody who got lost. Number 1, figure out why you want a vision. Where does it come from? Secondly, figure out who you are now and who you want to be in the future. Figure out the good and the bad things about yourself right now. Number 3, leave room for mistakes. Number 4, live in a season of hush. Be quiet and don't say too much. Just show. People be like, well, what you got going on for next year? You'll see. That's how you'll see. You're not being funny. You're not being boastful. You'll see. Because what you told the last person last year, you ain't do that. And this is also from a sermon that I watched today from Pastor Mike Jr., which I'll leave a few sermons from him down below because he really be hitting everything on the nail. Like, him as a person, as a pastor, like, when I watch him, I feel locked in with God like this. So I would definitely recommend watching his sermons. But lock in, y'all. Like, lock in. The other 4th or 5th thing I would say is to let go of your traumas. Stop blaming this person and that person. Don't fuel your vision on, okay, I gotta be better than this person in my family, and they said I wasn't gonna be this, and they said I wasn't gonna be that. I'ma show them. No, you're not. You're not gonna show them. You're gonna show you. You're not showing nobody else nothing. You're showing you and God. Now, if you don't believe in God, then that's your business. But as far as me and mine, I do. So I'm telling you, you're going to figure out your vision for you and for God, ultimately. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter. The rest of it doesn't matter. Like, the opinions, the guidance, yeah, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. And you have to also understand when you're developing yourself, you might be more sensitive. You might be less sensitive. Like, you might come off nonchalant and genuinely have no intention to be nonchalant. Like, it's a plethora of different things, but ultimately I just want y'all to keep your head up, make your list, focus on the positive. The devil is a liar. You are capable of so much more than you believe. I don't care who your daddy is, your mama is, your granddaddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your uncles. I don't care who they are. I care about who you are. I care about your personal development. If don't nobody else care, I'm telling you, Vivian right now today is telling you that she cares about your development. I care about my development. Y'all want me to show up on this channel. You care about my development. I care about your development. I want you to be somebody. If you want a YouTube channel, make that YouTube channel. If you want a business and ain't nobody in your family got a business and you don't know nothing about a business, figure out how to get a business. If you want to swim with sharks and that's the career and the dream that you have, learn how to get a degree and figure that out. Like, the school is not for everybody, of course. I don't have a college degree. I did graduate high school, but college ain't for everybody. So just figure it out for you. Not figuring out what your parents want. Not figuring out who this person and that person want. What do you want? Who do you want to be ultimately? Who do you want to be? Be that person. Don't be nobody else. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope that you could get something that blessed you. I hope you got something that you can marinate on. Again, if you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If you don't want to publicly show anything, DM me. My Instagram is reallyvivian. It's always the same thing. Let's talk, let's chat, let's build a community. This comment section is a safe space to communicate, to ask others for advice. I don't have all the answers, y'all. I'm not a know-it-all. Sometimes I just figure it out in whatever way that is. I ask God, give me guidance, Lord. Okay, Lord, I don't feel like I did that too great. Can you help me see what I can't see? Okay, Lord, I'm pushing myself, but I'm losing vision. Can you help me figure out why I'm losing vision? Okay, well, you staying up late. You on the phone all the time. You don't have no structure. You blaming everybody for this. You blaming everybody for that. You're not taking care of yourself. You prioritizing other people and their concerns. You're not doing what you feel like you need to do for you. You're not taking care of your mental. All those things contribute. So I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all tomorrow. Please consider subscribing, and we here all month, baby. Bye.